New vehicles, used vehicles, they're all expensive. And I feel bad for anybody trying to buy a first vehicle. We're gonna see if you can build a car cheaper than you can buy a used vehicle off Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist. We got this 2008 Mini Cooper Clubman off of Copart for $850. No idea what's wrong with it. Says it runs and drives. Labeled as mechanical. Clean title, so you're not dealing with a salvage. It's got, let's see. We got check engine light. We've got 89,000 miles. I don't turn these vents off. There we go. And then in the back, uh-oh, a jug of coolant. When somebody's driving around with oil or coolant, it means something's probably leaking. Let's get this hood popped. All right, what do we got? Missing battery cover. Broken brake reservoir. We got some oil. We have no coolant. Is there any coolant in anything at all? No. Bone dry. Well, that's not great. Overall, it's pretty clean. Except for the lack of coolant. I guess we should probably put some water in it and block test it, and or actually, let's do this. Let's get this thing up on the ramps. We can see what the underside looks like and see if there's any visible leaks before we jump right to head gasket, because that wouldn't be great. I don't see any coolant leaks. We've got nothing crazy going on by the radiator. Since we bought the car, I guess this is technically ours now. So we'll start with this, and then we can use water. Is it leaking?
Oh.
That'd be so good. Where is it leaking from though? Oh. Maybe we'll get lucky and it's a hose. That would be nice.
Directly rated.
Okay.
Oh. Come from the top there. See all the water on top? I mean, the increase on top.
Oh. Oh my.
You can see it pouring down.
Well, it looks like there's some type of plastic coolant manifold reservoir thing. And it's cracked, I think.
He's got half the car taken apart already. I'm over here messing with the hose.
She didn't want to break it, that's why.
Yeah, he really didn't.
Alright.
That's right, I broke half of my stuff.
See? See?
We didn't break that one.
Nothing.
Nice.
We took all one part. We're so proud of ourselves.
This has been apart before because the mark where these clamps are is not where they have always been. I told you I'd drop it. Okay. So,
It's just the bolt.
the question is where was it leaking out of? The only thing I can think of is this wasn't sealed properly. Because that's where it was pouring out. It was pouring out right here.
Yeah, because it was filling up right there, down.
So what we need to do now is we need to vacuum up all this coolant. We need to clean up all this, clean the surface, and then figure out how much this whole unit is, or if we want to try to just reseal it.
No, get a new one.
But this is what you're gonna get when you get an $800 car. But if you were to go right now onto Facebook Marketplace or Craigslist, you're probably gonna spend $4 to $6 grand on a vehicle like this. So if we can get this thing fixed and running for a couple $100, then it's gonna be a home run. If we keep finding more problems, it might just turn into a money pit. Well, the perks of being half mile up the street from AutoZone is even at 9:30 at night, we can go get a new thermostat housing. We should be able to install this, put water back in it, and see if it leaks again. If it doesn't leak, we win. If it leaks, or we still lose coolant, then we cross that bridge when we get there. Thermostat housing's in. Before we hook all the electrical up, we'll fill it full of water and see if it leaks. Get all the air bubbles out. And I'll tell you what, if it leaks, I'm going inside. We're done for the night. It's what, 10 o'clock, 10:30?
10:48.
10:48. There's at least coolant. All right, preliminary checks. No leaks. Let's get the electrical back in and try to start her up. How does this all go?
Hey.
All right, whenever you're ready. Okay, we're not pouring coolant.
Sounds better too.
So, every single one of these airbox screws is stripped out. So the reason it sounds like a bag of ass is because there's no screws holding the thing together. Because if this is together, it's got a little bit of a interesting idle, but it doesn't have that rattle. That's just the airbox. I think someone just did an oil change all over the engine.
Because there was a bunch of oil in there. I cleaned it out.
Wow. It runs. It doesn't run well. But I don't think we have any more coolant leaks. It held coolant. We need to bleed it. The thermostat didn't have a chance to open. But it is now past 11. And I'm done for the night. So we have no more coolant leak, it seems. We just need to clean up. Then figure out what the check engine light is, which it could just be from everything being unplugged. We'll clear it. We'll see what comes back. And then once that's good, we need to figure out why it's idling rough. And then make sure the transmission's good. But that's all going to be tomorrow. So I'll see you in the morning. Now that we've gotten our coolant leak taken care of, the next thing is we got to check the codes and see what's there. So we've got this OBD2 Bluetooth reader I picked up on Amazon. I don't have a nice one yet. We'll just plug this in and we'll check engine, transmission, read. And we'll see what pops up. Everything. That's probably because we disconnected everything. So we're gonna start by deleting them all. All gone. Clear, yes. Okay. Back. Now we are going to read them again. See if anything comes back. Otherwise, we'll fire it up. Check some live data out. No codes. We did it. It's fixed. That's how it works. All you gotta do is buy this, clear it, and your car's fixed. So this fluid We're gonna fill up to this line here. It's a nice blue. And what you do is we're going to put this here to seal it up. We're going to start the engine and we're going to pull gases, well, hopefully no gases up through. If this stays blue, it means our head gasket, at least to the coolant side, is good. If it turns yellow or green or anywhere in between, then we have an issue. You want to start it? It looks pretty good. You can see if it has any sort of time on it, but normally if you've got an issue, that thing changes right away. Let's see. This is 2 minutes. But, well, I would say our head gasket's good. Here, I'll show you. If we bring this to the back of the car, you can see what it would do. So if we had an issue with our head gasket, that fluid would have turned green instead. Science. Okay. Well, I guess we can maybe take it for a test drive. And we'll see what happens. Alright, take this for a spin. We got coolant temped up. We'll see if we can get this thing to throw a coat or not. We'll see how smooth it runs. My only worry is we have a timing chain issue. Oh, my seatbelt. I'm sorry. Because that is not a fun job. Oh, now it's probably your seatbelt.
Sorry.
We've got a vibration, so it's definitely not running its best. I mean, no check engine light came back. Once you're off idle, it's smooth. What we can do is we can pull the spark plugs out, see what the spark plugs look like. While they're out, we can compression test it, just double check the cylinders. And then have a think. We can start with a tune-up, see if it cleans it up. Otherwise, we gotta start digging in. One trip to the auto parts store later, and we have plugs. Oh man, that is bad. Yeah, that plug's no good. Okay, let's see what the next one looks like. Yeah, these things are well overdue. I mean, you can tell just between it's got quite a gap difference. Okay, so far we've spent $850 on the car. We spent $130 on the T-stat housing. And we need plugs, and we got stuff for an oil filter. So that's probably gonna be another, say, $40. So let's do, you know what, let's do 50. This will be oil plus plugs. So far we're at 900, 1,030. We've got the coolant leak solved. We've got some nasty spark plugs, which may contribute towards a rough engine. And we are still about $3,500 less than a car. So we've got lots of headroom there. We're still cheaper. Let's compression test it, which we got here. This one should work. We can double check that each cylinder is good, make sure there's no head gasket issues. And then I'll write the compression test up there. And if that's all good, then we move on and continue tracing down this rough running. Once we get the plug wires, we put some seafoam in the gas so we can maybe clean out the injectors. We're getting there. I feel it. Because I don't want to do this timing chain. So it's not going to be that.
No stored within 50 miles that have it.
Start with number 4. Ready when you are. $50, $60, $170. Okay. We'll go again. Okay. We crank that one longer. 70, 80. That's 190. Let's go back and do this one because he cranked that one 2 extra cranks. Okay. 185. Okay. Okay. 190. Okay. Okay. 190. Engine is healthy. Okay. The question is are the spark plugs just old and super burnt? Or do we have a timing issue, or an injector issue, or a Vano solenoid issue, and causing this thing to run lean? I was looking back at the codes, and we did have, before we disconnected it, was a lean issue with O2, fuel trims. Our fuel trims are all over the board. Ignition retard request, duration fault, ignition retard request, circuit fault. The circuit fault might have been me. But I think we need to get those plugs, which we don't have.
I'll drive around tomorrow and get them.
So we'll have to get them tomorrow. But compressions are good. Coolant's good. Spark plugs are bad. I wish there was a way to check the timing without locking it out. Because the only way to do it is you take the valve cover off, you take everything apart, and you buy this $100 tool to actually lock the cams, pin the cams in place. And if it lines up, it's in time. If it's not, then it's stripped. We could change the oil, and if there's metal bits, then it means the chain's flopping around in there. Maybe we jump the tooth, stretch the tooth, because as soon as you come off idle, it's good. I was talking to a buddy of mine, and he said that the solenoids, the Vano solenoids, this one here, there's one back here, they've got a little screen on it, and that controls the timing, and it's all oil pressure driven, and if that gets clogged up, which his did because he had rebuilt the engine, so it had gasket material and stuff, if that gets all clogged up, it won't be able to advance the timing or change the timing at all with the VVTs, and it'll run rough at idle and come back as soon as you get off idle. So that's another thing we can check. There's a bunch of things we check before we take this engine out. But we're going to start with the easiest, and that's plugs and the seafoam. We'll take it for another drive, see if the thing comes back. So the reason that timing is so important and why I keep coming back to timing is these are interference engines, which means if that timing's off, the piston and the valves
Mesh. They smack each other.
and your engine will no longer have 190 pounds of compression. Your engine will have a big hole in the piston.
But
So that's why I'm trying to avoid driving it too much until we make sure that we figure it out. Because I don't want to hurt this thing. All right, new plugs are in. Let's fire it up and see if it still idles rough. Seems a little smoother.
like a little vibration, but
You know, it's not perfect. There's still more, but we'll see if it's any better with the new plugs. I think it's a little better. I feel like it was vibrated a lot more last time. There's definitely still a vibration though. Just don't know what's next. We can look at maybe those Vanos solenoids or the injectors. But I think the plugs helped. We got some fuel injector cleaner in there. We just need to figure out why we're still vibrating. What are you doing? You coming to help? Yeah? Just gotta figure it out. If you have any ideas, comment them down below. I don't know if we'll have it fixed by the time I read them, but we'll see if you're right. I don't know. Well, I think we finally got it. It is running a lot smoother. We did an oil change. The check engine light came back on when we took it for a test ride, and the downstream O2 sensor was stuck lean, so we replaced the O2 sensor, and then we also replaced the exhaust and the intake Vanos solenoid, which adjusts timing, because we found when we pulled the Vanos out that there is debris in the screen. So I think in the future, probably the near future, we may need to do a timing chain, but that may be stretching, which got debris in the Vanos and stopped it from being able to advance. But we put 20 miles on it. Light hasn't come back on. Runs super smooth. We're gonna go get it emissions tested tomorrow. That way we can put it on the road. The coolant hasn't dropped at all, so the coolant is fixed. That's holding pressure properly. But the moment of truth is the amount. So the O2 sensor was $25 and the Vanos was $40 plus everything we've spent so far, and all of this comes to $1,305. $1,300 for a 2008 Mini with 89,000 miles on it.
and a clean title.
And a clean title. Now, this number is not entirely true because we also had Copart fees. And I believe those were $500. And we had to ship the car here, which was another $210. So all in, we are at $1,805, $2,015 for a perfectly running Mini. On Facebook right now, these cars easily could go for $5,000, $4 or $5,000. We actually found a few that were $2,000 or $3,000, and half of the engine was in cardboard boxes and totes.
That is
So we have a running, driving, clean titled Mini for $2,000. So it's a bit of a gamble, but can you get a car rebuilt cheaper than you could go out and buy one off Facebook Marketplace?
So will you buy another mechanical Copart at an auction? This
Mechanical ones are a gamble. I still like crash damage ones. Because if it's crashed, obviously if you smash the front end in, who knows what it did to the engine. But if you're talking, you know, fender, headlight, suspension, I think that's still a safer bet than a mechanical. But
I took a chance.
you took a chance.
$850 when I started.
And you won. I would say you were probably in the green at least $2,000. If you sell this, you could sell this and probably move it by the end of the week for $2,000 and make $2,000.
And it's clean. I don't know if you ever got it inside,
Yeah.
but
Everything was super clean. So I think it's a win. If you think we could have done something better, which we didn't probably need a valve cover, we threw a couple of parts at it, comment it down below. What stories do you have? What did you picked up? Have you gotten a mechanical vehicle that you rebuilt? Wins, losses, comment them down below. If you like this, make sure you like and subscribe. And we'll pick something else up and do it again. Thanks for watching.